Hey everybody, this is Larry, aka Blue Man Rule with Open Form Radio, and this is my review for The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt.
Let's start. Gladly.
Okay, so The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt is developed by CD Projekt. It is the third game in the Witcher series, and it is the end of Geralt's tale, according to CD Projekt. It involves a Witcher. You are a Witcher who is a monster hunter for hire. You are, consider yourself a medieval Spartan. You are kind of taken as a kid. You're raised a certain way. Your body is manipulated through mutations, and you are raised to hunt and kill, track monsters, all of that. The amount of knowledge required to be a Witcher is extensive, and not everyone survives the process. So there's a little background on what Witchers do. Geralt has been doing this thing for a while. Right now, the Wild Hunt, as indicated in the title, is actually a swarm of beings from another world that are supposed to bring impending doom upon the current world. And it is your job to stop them, not only because, well, it's really not your job, but Geralt takes it on, but also because the Wild Hunt is searching for someone extremely close to Geralt called Ciri. If you paid attention to the game before release, then you would have known that CD Projekt said that you would be able to play as another character, this other character being Ciri. So, the game starts off in White Orchard, and then after that you get the main quest. So there's a prologue of a few hours to get in, get used to the systems, get used to crafting potions, get used to consulting your bestiary so you can understand the weaknesses, know which signs and which potions to use on all these different creatures and enemies that you'll have in the game, because not only do you fight monsters, but you fight a lot of humans who are monsters as well, not as in transforming monsters, but they have monstrous personalities. So knowing all of this, you should really, White Orchard does a good job of setting everything up. Now, there are three main areas in the game that you need to take a look through. One is Velen, the other is Novigrad, which they're kind of connected because they're on the same continent, and the final one is Skellige. Now, it looks like Skellige. Please don't pronounce it Skellige. It's Skellige. It is supposed to be reminiscent of a Norwegian / Dutch area, Viking inhabited area. So it's really cool because, as I mentioned, I didn't mention that CD Projekt is a Polish developer, so they're European in nature. So their takes and everything is really, really cool. And I think of this game as like a Grimm. If you've watched Grimm with like the Grimm fairy tales and things like that, think of it like that, because you have a lot of monsters from that here. And it's really well done. The voice acting is fantastic. Graphically, it's great. Hopefully my recordings that you're seeing in this video come through and really shine. The sad part is, when I was recording video, it didn't record at the full frames that I had. I believe the video capped at 30 frames per second, but I was running above 30 frames per second pretty much the entire time I played this game, which that entire time being about 100 and, I don't know, it said 9 days, so whatever that comes out to, 200 and some odd hours, whatever that comes out to. So I just wanted to sit down and tell you guys the combat in this game is difficult. So you can play it as a hack and slash if you put it down on easier levels, what I've been told through our spoiler cast that I have actually recorded. I don't recommend it. The combat is very satisfying when you play it on normal. And when you actually take the time to get his rhythms down, to parry, you take the time to block or just roll out of the way and get people in compromising positions, use your signs. That's what really makes the game fun, because the combat in this game is really, it's true sword play. And Witcher series has always prided itself on true sword play, especially in The Witcher 1, in The Witcher 2 as well, but it carries over in The Witcher 3, so it is very, very strong. What you're watching right now is a quest from the center portion of the game, and this is a side quest, and it's voice acted, and the cinematic entrails and the cinematic intrigue and just the following of a thread, you wouldn't be able to tell the difference from the main story. And that's one thing that makes this game different. CD Projekt issued 55 all unique sort of side missions in this game. All the different teams, they all came together up with things, and their challenge was to make it kind of relevant and kind of tie back, so they feel like they kind of fit into the story. but you don't have to have these experiences. As a matter of fact, you can miss this one altogether. This one is the one where you're picking up those sermon notes and for the church in Novigrad, and you're investigating some killings, some particular murders that occur with similarities in between them. And as I mentioned, you just pick this quest up, and it's actually a pretty broad quest. So, and I got it wrong. So what you're watching me play, I did the majority of it right, but at the very, very end, I got it very, very wrong. So, man, and that's the good thing about this game, because I got it wrong just based off a choice that I did. So, so it's very well done. As I mentioned before, the voice acting is phenomenal. This voice cast is really good. They've been in all 3 games. Many of the characters make a return. Many of Geralt's friends make a return, and even some of his folks that are not friends. And the voice acting is solid, absolutely solid. And I really want people to understand about this game. This game is good, and I guess I'll go in to say that the level of finish in this game, just the level of detail, you can level up. Geralt, as I mentioned, he is a witcher. He uses alchemy to construct potions and things like that. But there are other things he can do as well. So he also needs to keep his gear intact. There is gear degradation, weapon and armor. You need to make sure you don't let it get too low and crack, or just because as it decreases, as your gear health decreases, then its effectiveness decreases, whether it's armor or whether it's weapons. So keep that in mind. Also, you can level up. So the gear that I'm wearing right there is actually some that I want on a quest, but there are different pieces of gear, and I recommend you do all of the treasure hunts, because that's Witcher gear, and you can level them up. They have 4 levels, just the basic gear level. So in this case, you can have Wolven, Feline, Griffin, which is medium. Wolven and Feline, actually, Feline is light, Wolven and Griffin are medium, and Ursine, which is bear armor, that's heavy armor. And they all have different attributes, so they all amplify different things. I was a fan of the feline armor, which actually amplified my sign intensity, which is like the hand weave magic symbols that he uses, like fire and protection and slow down and mind control. So all of these things are pretty awesome. But in addition to that, you can also, as I mentioned, you can craft these, so you get these enhanced levels of each gear. So you have the basic gear, then you have the enhanced, then the superior, then the master crafted, and your character has to be a certain level to unlock, because the stats increase as you find the upgraded levels of the armor sets, and they're actually swords for pretty much each and every one of those as well. So you have that. There's also crafting for other things with a crossbow. You have bolts that you have to craft. There's also runes that you can stick in the slots to give you different abilities. I was a fan of the freezing rune, but the game is what I thought it was going to be. I'm a massive fan, but I sat down and I played this game, and I'm still playing this game. I am on my 2nd run through, getting ready to consider a 3rd when they add the new Game Plus mode that is coming, and the very last piece of free DLC that CD Projekt REd is planning on doing. I'm not saying they will likely do more if they feel the need, but they have 2 expansions coming, one beginning October 2015, the other one coming in spring of 2016. So, or I believe early in late winter, so January, February. So please, everybody, I'm trying to say this as succinctly as I can. The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt is a fantastic game. There are some niggling issues with the inventory, like how they remove some things, some of the control schemes. I didn't have those issues. I'm used to what The Witcher was. I am frustrated that they removed a lot of the in-game storage chests, but they brought them back in the 1.7 patch. That actually fixed a lot of things. So by the time you're hearing and seeing this review, all the major issues that people had problems with, they're fixed. They're fixed. There was an optimization issue at the beginning of the release of this game. CD Projekt has repaired that and moved past it. I'm on an AMD based build, and this is an NVIDIA GameWorks game, and I'm not having any problems anymore. I did in the beginning, but I do not now. and much fewer problems than I have with Batman Arkham Knight all around. So again, this game, Witcher 3, is my game of the year thus far, and I don't see anything surpassing it. So thank you so much for listening to my review. I really hope you enjoyed it. Please go get The Witcher 3. Stay open.